I've just picked up the keys. It's all confirmed.
Hello you lovely bunch, this is a video of my first property renovation.
It started with some friends helping me move all my worldly goods into the place. Here's a fridge I got for free on Facebook. This is what the lounge looked like stacked with all my stuff. The first thing I did was relive the time that there was a global pandemic by wearing a mask and cleaning everything bit by bit. Then I played a quick game of reverse Tetris and freed up some space, effectively throwing away half of my possessions. After this, I installed a spotlight and what I planned to be a security camera, but those things aren't cheap, and Lord knows that everything has a price, including your safety. I realised my windowsills were showing more cracks than a depressed teenager's OnlyFans account. My friend installs windowsills for a living, so he taught me how to do things like this, and that, and this, and whatever this is. Man, what a ledge. After the windowsills were done being filled, I decided to embrace my first Christmas on the ladder by wearing a woolly hat indoors and not having any heating on. I fiddled around with the doors to a cabinet for a bit. I then got confused at which way I was supposed to be lying to be painted like a French girl, and then spent 4 hours continuously opening the first door I'd ever put up. I then put up a TV that I pretended to have just put up there, and then, following this, shit got real. With the help of one beautiful man, both in heart and looks, named Malcolm. We got to work installing a wardrobe. It took me on a tour of B&Q, so I rewarded him with a quick snack. The wardrobe was up, and Malcolm let me pretend to do some work for film. Quick stop at Dave the Barber's, and the lovely little cheeky that is Anna helped paint the wardrobe. Like myself, she takes her work very seriously, and we refused to talk to each other for the hours that it took us to prime this thing. That is, until our friend Zoe broke our vow of silence. We smashed out the rest of the painting, and I let Anna free. Here is some good old-fashioned tape porn. Sorting through more crap was next up, and the angel that is Christy helped me chuck out half the clothes that I had. The kitchen was next, and I didn't like how the kitchen walls were so small, so I did what any sensible adult would do and just cut it out of my life. Malcolm to the rescue again, and he took the wall out whilst I was practicing my shot put technique. 5 out of 5 for nailing the groan. Speaking of groaning, here I am drilling into some holes and banging till the walls shake, then nearly bringing the house down, then bringing the house down, then going blue, then celebrating. Enough puns, here's me showing how masculine I am.
I'm actually impressed.
That groan was for free. With the walls taken down, another bit of dusting was needed. The tiles came up next, followed by another trip to B&Q to help Malcolm find his wood. We found it, celebrated with some sandwiches, and got into inserting a door for what was now going to be a downstairs toilet. The place was still a mess, but progress was being made. Malcolm filmed the 2% of work I put in, and like a true cinematographer, got all the angles necessary, including the ones where I got bored of being shit with the drill.
Cramping my fingers.
The electrics were next and everything was covered in dust sheets. I tried bragging to the electricians about my size, but they got angry and ripped up the hole upstairs. I think they took it a bit far as they started putting holes in the ceiling and just tearing up the place in general. Lesson learned, don't get into a dick-off with a trades operator. Malcolm was round again to help settle my nerves and treated me to a trip to our beloved B&Q. I had a look at all the pretentiously named paints. After spending a night knocked in the community centre, I was sleeping on towels, but that didn't stop me from painting the rooms and hoovering up the mess that was created by those pesky named paint tubs. The real MVP of the show, Malcolm, was back again, this time helping me design a kitchen. The idea was to have a peninsula at the end of the kitchen to help cause some separation from the lounge area. With the help of my dad, we took the kitchen out, celebrated with a beer, and gracefully threw the kitchen into the tip. This video actually got me in a bit of trouble. I was told off for filming crew there, controversial, but I think someone was talking bollocks. The kitchen arrived, and we, as in Malcolm, got to install in the kitchen. After being rattled by the staff at the tip, we used the recycle bins out back to get rid of the cardboard, and if you don't do this when given the chance, you need to grow up and live a little. Anyway, there's me drilling, there's me cutting, there's me plumbing again, drilling some more. Here I am picking something up, testing my spank strength. Oh, I'm putting up a door there. Look how well those doors close. Gorgeous work. My plumbing was clearly my weakest and my washing machine threw up everywhere, leading to a genius quick fix idea: use towels and pray it'll stop. The plasterers were next, and having learnt my lesson, I stayed away from the tape measurers. That didn't stop this alpha male from taking his shirt off and putting shit all over my ceiling. Startled by the absolute Chad, I forgot to mention to him that the floorboards were staying, so I ended up with plaster all over my lounge floor. Thankfully, the returning Christy was here to help. The place was still a mess, and I used all the tips from previous helpers that I could. Top off, tits out for the public, and we're good to go. I decided to buy another bed because apparently I thought that renovating a house process included actually buying the bed, but the results were funky and I had a spare bed in place. I then got to priming the ceiling, got bored of that, so tried smoothing the floor out for the new floorboards, got bored of that, so tried planting a tree in the middle of the hallway, and my ceiling started leaking. Thankfully, I had a mug and a bucket, but this was a problem I needed to fix. I ignored that and thought that sanding the walls was a higher priority, so I sanded them. I then returned to my checkered past in the tape porn industry, then painted the walls, then stuck my booty out whilst painting the doorway. Hey, eyes up here! Then painted the new lavatory, and finally painted the doors. Finished off by engraving "Damn was here" on all of the floors, then returned to the leak. It was fixed. That finished off the property. All in all, the property was valued at $200,000 when purchased. Including legal fees, I've spent $22,000 on the place, so that's $222 altogether. How much do you think it's worth now? Do you think Malcolm's done a good job? And what would you have done yourself? Leave a comment below, share with some folk, and most importantly, have a great day. Love to you all, and see you on the flip-flop.